What does it mean to have Jupiter in Aries in your natal chart? I'm filming this video in honor of the fact that Jupiter right now is transiting through Aries. And so Jupiter is a planet that really pushes you, encourages you to attract good fortune. If you go in this direction, then you will gain all of these rewards and, reap all of the bearing fruit that comes on the trees and, the real plants in your field of dreams if you, go on this path. And so, Jupiter is incredibly, it's a very feel-good planet, and it rules Sagittarius, and it's very happy-go-lucky energy. So, that is what Jupiter represents. And today I'm going to be talking about the Jupiter in Aries luck, and also the things to be aware of, and to be, and to really, evolve and, take the high road of this placement rather than going down the low road. So, Jupiter and Aries. These people are very energetic because Aries is, the sign that, really, I don't like to put signs on a pedestal over others, but let me just say it anyway. Now that I owned up for what I'm about to say, that Jupiter, that Aries is a sign that has the most energy, where, you can light a fire, inside of you and really spark that flame and then pick up the energy and do something and just take life by the horns and really chase down your desires and your goals. And that is what the Aries energy is about. There is a confidence, there is a boldness, there is a, there's a passion for, going after your desires. And, it's the real fire of, taking that risk, taking that leap of faith and just going for it. And so this would also mean that Jupiter and Aries individuals, if you have this placement, then it would make you a very brave person, very brave and bold. Because Aries is a very brave and bold sign to go through that tunnel and to have the rationale and assurance that no, there's not ghosts in that cave. Because I'm thinking of an episode of Thomas and Friends where Thomas, watching it many years ago when I was little, when Thomas was going through the tunnel and there were people fixing the lights. I think there were no ghosts. So, very brave and bold. Unafraid of life's challenges, unafraid of, anything getting in the way of the pathway of this placement because of, the determination in there as well. So very brave, very enthusiastic, incredibly captivating, fun-loving personalities that just grab you and turn that light on in your mind and get you going, give you purpose, spark, motivation. So, another thing is that Jupiter and Aries can go out and live life to the fullest. to have a plan, to have something that you want to achieve and, to go for, whether it is a new business, whether it is running a marathon, with hope and belief in yourself and so many other things, and physical strength, mental strength, emotional strength, physical strength, then you can, achieve what you want. And so, that feeling, that fire, come on, baby, light my fire. After all, that's a very important saying with this placement. So, luck comes through being very assertive, to standing up for yourself, or standing up for, the underdog, or something, and, asserting yourself, and bringing your identity to the table, and going in the car and taking the lead, taking the driver's seat of your own life, and then having the steering wheel, and then steering it, and then going in the ship and steering, steering your own ship, where the world is really your oyster, that kind of feeling, because talking about the aquatic marine sea thing here. So, very, very assertive. Um, this is what I want, and this is how I'm going to get it, going into the fire line and facing the fire and coming out better and with the goal that you set in mind originally, what you needed and wanted. It's also very, very independent, following your own rhythm in life, and having, the freedom to chase down your desires and to take risks, go on adventures, and, and live life that way, taking action, initiating new things. And so the person is very outgoing, like, let's get out, let's do something, let's meet new people, let's initiate this relationship. That's the kind of flavor with this. That's the feeling and the energy and vibration of this placement. Now, it's also on the downside. It can be, it can be impulsive, making a decision and just going for it without thinking it through, without weighing out these pros and cons, and without, examining the area around you and examining the situations of people around you to see, oh, will this be right? Will this be fulfilling? Will this be good to others? Will this help others? Will this, not affect others really? Or will this hurt others because of me being selfish? And I insert that word. I don't really care to use that word, but I use that word if you are doing something for self that hurts others. Unless you know what you're doing and there's some, other reason, other cause that outweighs the consequence, the negative consequence of what you're doing, and you're aware of that, and you know what you're getting yourself into, and you're doing it anyway because it's simply, you're going to be better off. Like, I think of the trolley problem. When, if you go down this track and you attack this amount of people, and then you go down this track, you attack less people, then no, that would not be, selfish necessarily. I mean, it really, really all depends. I don't want to get into the, technicalities and difficulties of it. But this can be very aggressive as well, like a, you know, like I think of the Karate Kid I was watching. Um, the movies of the Karate Kid and also Cobra Kai, the saying of the Cobra Kai school, strike first, strike hard, no mercy, that aggression, to others, tearing somebody down to get what you want, need, no matter what, and, fighting this fight till the bitter end, and, with the real, um, determination and not, relenting and surrendering to it, as always fighting, always continuing to act, continuing um, to fight, and being mindful not to abuse your energy, abuse your, desires, and, the ego as well. So self-centered, I just want to say that word again. Pushiness comes in here when, you do something, when you insert yourself in the situation for somebody to do this when they really don't want to do it, and they really don't, feel like they need it, feel like they don't, need you in their lives to, do this for them, when it's just, not necessary, or it just becomes a reflection of you as opposed to reflection of, um, of the person that you're trying to help, that you're doing this thing for, that you are on the side of. And so, it can be, a piano teacher inserting herself into making, Osceola Jones from the Blues I'm playing go through this training with these people in this city so that she can play, classical, traditional piano concert music instead of her own unique style, which happens to be soul music. And, that's just, an example. But it can be pushy, my way or the highway. No, you can't do this. This is what I want. And it can, sort of factor into that selfishness as well. So impatient is another thing, for results to happen. It has to happen quickly. It has to happen, now I want this. Now I want to, get up and go, and I don't want to wait around for things. I don't want to wait around for this line in this stand to get tickets for this flight to, Barcelona to, get to the point where I can stand in line and get my tickets, etc. So, but some things require patience. Remember that Jupiter and Aries, luck really, really comes through taking action. But not only do good things happen to people who take action, take initiative, but equally so to people who wait. So take action and then surrender, and, you know, and trust higher power, trust the divine, whatever you want to call it, and wait and relax and know that in the end it'll work out, in some way, shape, or form or another. And so that's so important to remember. Arrogant, as well as another negative thing. Um, you know, I just want to throw that word out there. And temperamental, having a, because Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and all the signs rule different, stages in life. And Aries can be the, baby crying, throwing a temper tantrum that things don't go your way, that somebody is, telling you what to do, bossing you over, to taking over your power and your, control with what you want to establish. There can be a pushiness, like, that just instinctual primal nature that has to be nurtured through society. Like if you were to go to, kindergarten or preschool to begin with, and you bring a toy or you have something, and then somebody takes it away, and of course you just fight for that back, like, siblings. No, it's mine. I want it this way. No, I want it this way. That sort of energy. So, in terms of careers for gaining luck, the industries are, exercise, anything have to do with, debate, martial arts is another thing, or just anything in general where you can really prove yourself and how strong you are, and where you can really, get ahead and, be that pioneer, pioneer as well, and and be strong and really, um, you know, shine in your own light as well. So, makes a great leader as well, motivational speaker, uplifting others, pulling others, out of the ocean, inspiring others to be, courageous, bold, determined, all those things. Um, Sports as well as another area or arena, can depend on where you're playing it, that can be very excelled at with this placement. And really, what's the point of complaining or being sad, being depressed, lazy, not picking up the energy, making, all these excuses, staying small, not, being in your power, not taking action, it's the point, encouraging people to, do all those things. And also very, very loyal. There's a real fiery, loving loyalness that comes in with Aries. And also make sure that it doesn't become selfishness when it comes to you, pushing your way into a situation where the other person says, no, I don't, want you to do this right now. I think I'm fine. Then, respect their, decision, and know that it is all based around the receiving end of how that person's going to feel if you do these things, if you say this thing. Is also verbal, aggression as well, and verbal violence, and speaking your mind and being blunt. But remember to have love, to have, understanding, compassion, empathy, sympathy, uh, and to think about how your actions and words are going to be affecting others. How would you want to be treated? How would you want to feel, based off of these words and these actions? But, just to say, they can really, really support somebody in times of trial and tribulation. So that is information about this astrological placement. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like this video, share it, hit the bell so that you hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads from me.